Good morning, you guys. I'm excited to show you guys our next project. It's super cute. I mean, look at this. Look at that adorable little hedgehog, right? So cute. So we're taking our stitching up a notch from doing more of a straight line like we did last time to a zigzag like on our little hedgehog here. So let me transition over so you guys can see the steps. We're gonna of course need some cardboard again, whether it's thicker cardboard or like the thinner cardboard that comes in a cereal or the cereal box or cracker box, something like that would work. Scissors, our needle of course, pencil to draw. I also have a Sharpie for drawing so you guys can see it a little bit better on the screen. We've got our little hedgehog template here, which you guys can either use to kind of trace onto your cardboard, or you can just use it to look at, to draw it on, which is what I'll be doing. And of course, our yarn. Now your hedgehog can have one color, two colors, it can have a whole bunch of colors. It's up to you how you'd like yours to look. For mine, I decided I want to do just one color for this hedgehog, and I'm going to choose this kind of beautiful rusty orange color that I got in my kit. So step number one is we need to make a hedgehog onto our cardboard. I'm going to be using my Sharpie marker for this, but you guys, of course, can be using pencil. That way, if you make any mistakes, you can always erase it. But so that we can see it on screen, I'm going to do Sharpie marker. So I'm going to start over here with that cute little button nose, and then a bit of a slide to come up the snout, like that. And then this part of the snout kind of goes in the opposite direction, like that. All right, now here's where we start doing all these fun and crazy little porcupine spikes. They can kind of go in different directions if you want it to look really wild and fun, like that. And then the tail at the end. There we go, cute little porcupine. Now we just gotta give them some feet. So there we go, foot number one. And then a line in between, and foot number two, and connect it to the tail. There we go. We've got our outline ready to go. Next, I'm going to put a little eye just ever so slightly above where that nose is, like so, and then a little ear right back there. There we go. We've got our porcupine, or not porcupine, our hedgehog. Gotta know my animals a little bit better, I suppose, huh? So there we go. So next we're going to do some zigzags going down our hedgehog. So starting from the hedgehog's back all the way down to the belly. So zig, zag, zig, and zigzag, 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 all the way down. Here we go again, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And fit as many of these as you can and as looks good on your porcupine, just like that. Okay, so we're gonna do just one row at a time here. And basically, we are going to start poking those holes. So reminders from last time when we're poking holes, we don't want to poke our fingers. That is not ideal. So make sure if you are going to be holding it, that you can tell your fingers are definitely far removed before putting the hole through. Otherwise, my other trick for you guys was to grab a few pieces of cardboard. We're going to keep your tabletop area safe here. So put those for cushioning underneath, and then you can poke just straight on down like that is another way to do this. But what we're trying to do is everywhere our zig turns into a zag, we're gonna poke a hole through. So once again, my zig turns into a zag, my zag turns into a zig. So at all of those turning points, we are going to punch holes carefully on through. No bloodshed today, okay? There we go. So I've got my zigs and zags all with holes poked in them, ready to go. Okay, our next step then, we've got to get our yarn ready, just like last time as well. So I am going to, now if you're going to do all one color of yarn, you might want to choose to make yours longer than this, but if you're just going to do each row a different color, you won't need you won't need a ton. So I'm going to take and hold my yarn between my fingers here. If I'm just going to do one row, from my fingertips to my shoulders should be enough. If I'm going to be doing multiple rows, maybe I go from shoulder to fingertips a few different times. And it's all going to just depend on the size that you made your hedgehog and all that sort of stuff. So once I got my length though, I'm going to cut that. And then I'm actually going to poke holes. I'm going to show you guys on this one so I can continue working on the one that I already started. So we'll poke those holes through. Once again, every time a zig turns into a zag, punching those holes on through carefully so we don't poke our fingers. All right, last one. There we go. So my next step is to thread our needle. So I'm gonna get the end of the yarn a little bit wet. Works best for me. That's my little trick that I like. And twist it in the direction that the yarn is already twisted in. And go ahead and put that yarn through like so. And remember, we want to have a nice long tail. So that's way too short. I like to go about 6 to 9 inches just so I know it's not gonna accidentally come undone. Now with my other end, so here's my needle end with the long tail, and my other end I'm going to make, I like to do a triple knot. So here we go. Tying it one time, and 2 times. If you need help with the knotting portion, don't worry. You can always ask the adult at your home to help out with that. Can be a little tricky sometimes, but I've got a decent sized knot there. So now I'm ready to go. I'm going to start at the top end for this one and pull my needle and through. Don't pull too much. You could possibly get that knot to come through. We don't want that to happen though. All right, so I came up through hole 1. I'm going to go down through hole 2, and sometimes helping to guide it, especially getting stuck on those little pokey parts. All right, and you're noticing too, I have mine cut out. This is optional, the cutting out part. So, and that you can do it at the end too. You could just have it be like this and have them on a cute little backdrop, and maybe even color in the background of your hedgehog. But I did decide to cut one of mine out. But you can do that after all the sewing is done. So just thought I'd throw that out there if you're like, wait a second, what about that step? It's optional, and you can always do it at the end once you've got your sewing done. All right, so now I came down through hole 2, so I'm gonna come back up through hole 3. Now, just like yesterday, if I go down through hole 4, I'm missing that whole spot right there. We don't want that. So I'm actually going to backtrack just like yesterday. So from hole 3, I'm going to come down through hole 2. Now I'm going to skip ahead to hole number 4. Ugh. Oh, look at that. Good thing I had a nice long tail, because that would have come off if it was any shorter. All right. Up through 4 and back down through 3. Up through 5. And down through 4, and you guys got the pattern, right? We skip one, and then we backtrack, and then we skip one again, and we backtrack. I'm just gonna keep on doing that until I get to that last one. Now remember, if you're doing all the same color, you could actually keep on moving on to the next row. But you guys probably don't want to watch me do 3 different rows here. So we're going to end it here so we can talk about tying off at the end again. Because now I have finished that row. So once again, with this much left, I could, if I wanted to stick with the same color, I have those holes punched, I could just keep on going until we get to the end of that thread. But I'm going to show you guys how to tie it off. So now that I am at the end, I am going to find the closest little bridge that I can go under with my needle. So just kind of tucking it right on under there, like so. And then finding that circle, so it's tucked under the bridge, finding the circle and bringing the needle through. You guys know how I love my triple knots, so we're gonna do this 3 times. Down through the bridge again, finding that circle and bringing my needle through, and one more time, down under the bridge, finding my circle and bringing it through for a triple knot. Now we can release, and I'm going to just trim off. There's a little bit from that beginner knot too, and we've got our next row done. So from here I can choose, do I want to move on to a different color, or once again, if you wanted to stick with the same color and you kind of cut off enough, you could just keep on going until you get to the very, very end. Again, you can choose whether you keep your hedgehog with the background or if you want to cut it out. It probably took me a good, I want to say 7 to 10 minutes to cut this little guy out. Like, it took some time because there's all those little spikes on the hedgehog's back. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this one. I hope you have so much fun, and I'm sure they're going to turn out adorable. Don't forget that when you're done, you can always add your pictures to our Hall of Fame as well to share them with others. These are so adorable, and I know other people are going to want to see yours, and you're going to want to check out what other people have created as well. So come on into our Hall of Fame, claim a frame with your name down at the bottom, first name, last initial, and then go to Insert Image and take a picture with your Chromebook camera. It takes just 30 seconds, and it's a fun way to share. All right, guys, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day.